Hi, friends. Okay, now I think to understand spiritual laws, I think we have to understand not only is God big, God good, but He is big. Sometimes when life comes crashing down around us, and everybody we know is off the chain, and every circumstance that's coming along is like something that is another thing that's against us, another thing. What else could go wrong? And then you look at your whole life and you can't see anything that's like good and kind. And so anyway, it's like you have this feeling that, where's God? Does He even care or whatever? Is He even big enough to handle what's going on? Guys, I need for you to understand that the God that we serve is the God who spoke worlds into existence. He's the one that set all the stars in order, and He called them by name, and He sets everything out. Okay, He's big. I think we have to understand the bigness of our God. And but when we're looking at us, that understanding can't come because we're too finite. He's infinite and everything. But there's some places in scripture that gives us a little glimpse of the bigness of God. I'm going to share those with you. I want you to meditate on them a while. I want you to face Jesus and open your heart wide and let the God of the universe show you His bigness. And let Him expand in your heart. Okay. This last week, the Lord gave me a very kind word. It's found in Isaiah 40 and everything. And he said, speak tenderly to Jerusalem. Tell her that her sad days are gone and her sins are pardoned. Yes, the Lord has punished her twice over for all her sins. But listen, it's a voice of someone shouting, clear the way through the wilderness for the Lord. Make a straight path through the wasteland for your God. Fill in the valleys and level the mountains and hills and straighten the curves and smooth out the rough places. And then the glory of the Lord will be revealed and all people will see it together. The Lord has spoken. Guys, God is doing some kind things because He's clearing out the bolt. He's clearing it out. He's leveling it. He's making it straight. He's doing all these kind things because He's preparing the way. But then He said, Zion, messenger of good news, shout from the mountaintops. Shout it louder, O Jerusalem. Shout and do not be afraid. Tell the towns of Judah, your God is coming. Yes, the sovereign Lord is coming in power, and He will rule with a powerful arm. See, He brings His reward with Him. He will feed His flock like a shepherd, and He will carry the lambs in His arms, holding them close to His heart, and He will gently lead the mother sheep with her young. Oh my goodness, this is so... shout it to the ends of the earth. Your God is coming. He's coming with power, with a powerful arm, and He's gonna feed His flock like a shepherd and carry the lambs in His arms. That's what He's coming to do. But then right after that in Isaiah 40, it talks about the bigness of God. And I'm like, who else has held the oceans in His hands? Who has measured off the heavens with His fingers? Who else knows the weight of the earth or has weighed the mountains and hills on the scale? Who is able to advise the Spirit of the Lord? Who knows enough to give Him advice or teach Him? Does He need instruction about what is good? Did someone teach Him what is right or show Him the path of justice? No, for all the nations of the world are but a drop in the bucket. They are nothing more than dust on the scales. He picks up the whole earth as though it were a grain of sand. Sweet Jesus. I'm like, our problems, which seem so big, the whole earth is like a drop of sand in His hands. It's like all the nations of the world. I'm like, our God is big. We don't even understand it. And it says, haven't you heard? Don't you understand? Are you deaf to the words of God? The words He gave before the world began? Are you so ignorant? God sits above the circle of the earth. The people below seem like grasshoppers to him, and he spreads out the heavens like a curtain and makes his tent from them. He judges great peoples of the world and brings them all to nothing. They hardly get started, barely taking root, and then he blows on them, and they wither, and the wind carries them off like chaff. To whom will you compare me? Who is my equal? Look up into the heavens. Who created all the stars? He brings them out like an army, one after another, calling each by its name. Because of his great power and incomparable strength, not a single one is missing. Oh, Jacob, listen to this, guys. Oh, Jacob, that's you, me. How can you say that the Lord does not see your troubles? Oh, Israel, how can you say God ignores your rights? Have you never heard? Have you never understood? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of all the earth. He never grows weak or weary. No one can measure the depth of his understanding. He gives power to the weak, and he gives strength to the powerless. Even youths will become weak and tired, and young men will fall in exhaustion. But those who trust in the Lord will find new strength, and they will soar high on wings like eagles. They will run and not be weary. They will walk and not faint. And guys, let me tell you something. What the Lord is going to do right now is he's teaching us to trust him. I think when our eyes are on him and his bigness and his plan, and once this plan, the laws in spiritual places, when you get to see that he's already set in motion laws that cannot be broken except by the blood of the Lamb. Anyway, once we get all of this big picture, it's going to be amazing. But I need for you to know in this part that we have to understand God is big. He's big. He's got good plans to prosper and not to harm, plans to give hope in the future. But we need to know that our God is able to do everything that he says that he can do. He's big. He's able. So anyway, to understand spiritual laws, you have to understand that there's a great author of all that is natural and all that is spiritual. And he's big enough to accomplish his tasks. So anyway, there you go. God's big.